Michael Jackson was halfway through Man in the Mirror when he stopped singing. Just stopped. 70,000 people at Wembley Stadium, all holding their breath. What was happening? The band kept playing for 3 more seconds. Then they stopped too. Dead silence. Michael was staring at someone in the crowd. Row 47, Section C, a man in a torn jacket, crying. But wait, this was Wembley Stadium, 1988. Tickets cost $45. How did a homeless man even get in here? July 16, 1988, London, England. Michael Jackson's Bad World Tour. Biggest concert series in history. 70,000 tickets sold out in 4 hours. This was the night everyone would remember. But not for the music. The real story? It started 6 months earlier, and nobody knew the truth. Let me tell you, January 1988. Robert Miller was 42 years old. 10 years ago, he'd been a music teacher, piano, saxophone, guitar. He taught kids in Manchester. His classroom was always full. Kids who couldn't afford private lessons, kids from broken homes, kids who just needed somewhere safe. "You're going to be great," he'd tell them. "Music saves lives." One student, Tommy, was 11 when he started. Couldn't read, could barely speak, but he could play piano. "Mr. Miller, why do you teach us for free?" Tommy asked one day. "Because someone taught me for free once," Robert said. "Now I'm passing it on." Tommy went on to music college, sent Robert a letter. "You saved me, Mr. Miller. I was invisible before your class." Robert kept that letter in his wallet for years. Then his wife got sick. Cancer, 3 years of treatment, $127,000 in private care bills. They sold the house, the car, everything. Robert taught extra hours, weekend classes, night sessions, trying to pay for 1 more month, 1 more treatment. She died anyway. Robert couldn't teach anymore. Couldn't focus. The grief was too heavy. The school tried to help. "Take time, Robert. Your job will be here." But time didn't heal anything. Robert would stand in front of his empty classroom and see her face, hear her laugh. 6 months later, the school had to let him go. "We're sorry, Robert. We can't hold the position any longer." Time became months. Months became years. Savings ran out. Friends stopped calling. Robert stopped trying. Now he was living under a bridge in London, 42 years old, homeless. The other people under that bridge had stories too. Sarah was a nurse. John was an accountant. Everyone had a before. "Got any change, mate?" Robert would ask strangers. Most people walked past. Some people threw coins. Nobody looked him in the eye. One man spat at his feet. "Get a job, you parasite!" Robert didn't even flinch anymore. He'd heard worse. But here's the thing. Robert still had his Walkman. A student had given it to him years ago. "For all the music you taught me, Mr. Miller." Every night, Robert would sit under that bridge and listen to one tape. Michael Jackson, Thriller. Billie Jean reminded him of teaching. Human Nature reminded him of his wife. Beat It reminded him that he used to fight for things. Now, he didn't fight for anything. June 1988. Robert was sleeping near Leicester Square when he heard 2 teenagers talking. Wembley Stadium, July 16th. Michael Jackson. "My dad got tickets." Robert's heart jumped. Michael Jackson. Live. He hadn't felt excitement in 3 years, but this was different. "How much are tickets?" Robert asked the teenagers. They looked at him. Dirty coat, unwashed hair. They stepped back. "Sold out, mate," one of them said. "And they're $45 anyway." £45. Robert made maybe $3 a day begging. That was 15 days. 2 weeks of eating nothing, sleeping nowhere. Impossible. But Robert couldn't stop thinking about it. What if he could see Michael Jackson, just once, before everything ended? For 2 weeks, Robert begged harder than ever. "Please, I need 45, please." People thought he wanted drugs. They walked faster. But then something strange happened. July 10th, 6 days before the concert. Robert was outside Victoria Station. A woman walked past, stopped, came back. "What do you need $45 for?" she asked. Robert looked up. She was maybe 60 years old. Kind face. "Michael Jackson concert," Robert said quietly. "Wembley. This Friday." The woman studied him. "You like Michael Jackson?" "I used to teach music," Robert said. Before everything." The woman opened her purse, pulled out $50, put it in Robert's hand. Robert's eyes filled with tears. I can't." "Yes, you can," the woman said. "Go. See him. Remember why music matters." She walked away before Robert could say thank you. Robert sat there holding the money, £50, in his hand. He could buy food for 2 weeks, a hostel bed for 3 nights, new shoes, or he could see Michael Jackson. That night, Robert found a ticket scalper outside Wembley. £75 for standing room, the guy said. I only have 50, Robert said. The scalper looked at Robert, the torn coat, the dirt under his fingernails. Fine, the scalper said. 50, but it's nosebleed section, row 47. Robert took the ticket. He hadn't eaten in 2 days, but he had a ticket. July 16th, concert day. Robert cleaned himself in a public bathroom. Best he could. He still looked homeless. He knew it. Security at Wembley almost didn't let him in. This ticket legitimate? One guard asked. Yes, Robert said. I paid for it. They searched him, twice, then let him through. Robert climbed to row 47. Section C, the highest seats in the stadium. He could barely see the stage, but he didn't care. He was here. The lights went down. 70,000 people screaming. Robert felt something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. Michael Jackson appeared. Gold jacket, white glove. The entire stadium exploded. Robert started crying. He couldn't help it. Michael performed Thriller. Smooth Criminal. The Way You Make Me Feel. Each song reminded Robert of who he used to be. A teacher, a husband, a person who mattered. Then Michael started Man in the Mirror. I'm starting with the Man in the Mirror. Robert was singing along, tears streaming down his face. I'm asking him to change his ways. And then Michael Jackson stopped singing. The band kept playing. But Michael wasn't singing. He was looking into the audience, searching. 70,000 people went quiet. What's wrong? Is he sick? Michael pointed. You, row 47, the man in the gray jacket. Security guards were already moving. Cameras were zooming. Robert looked down. Gray jacket. That was him. Bring him down here, Michael said into the microphone. Please. The entire stadium turned around, looking at row 47. Robert couldn't move. This couldn't be real. A security guard reached him. Come with me, sir. I didn't do anything. Michael Jackson wants to see you, the guard said. Robert walked down the stairs. His legs were shaking. 70,000 people watching. Cameras everywhere. Every step felt impossible. People were whispering, pointing. Who is that guy? Why is Michael stopping the show? Is this part of the performance? He reached the stage. Security helped him up. The lights were blinding. Michael Jackson got down on one knee, right there, in front of everyone, face to face with Robert. What's your name? Michael asked softly. Robert. Robert, why are you crying? Robert couldn't speak. His throat was closed. Tears were streaming down his face. Michael's eyes were kind, patient, like he had all the time in the world. It's okay, Michael whispered. I see you. Those 3 words broke something in Robert. I see you. Robert nodded. That was all he could do. Michael pulled Robert close, whispered in his ear. The microphone didn't catch it. The cameras couldn't see. But Robert heard, and his entire body went still. Michael stood up, still holding Robert's hand, turned to the audience. This man, Michael said, he reminds me of something. We all look at the man in the mirror. But how often do we see the man standing right in front of us? The crowd was silent. Robert used to teach music, Michael said. He helped kids find their voices, and now he needs help finding his. Michael took off his gold jacket, the famous Bad Tour jacket, and he put it on Robert's shoulders. This is for you, Michael said. Remember who you are. The stadium erupted, standing ovation, cameras flashing. Robert was wearing Michael Jackson's jacket. He couldn't breathe. But wait. Here's where the story gets even more incredible. After the concert, security tried to take Robert backstage. Mr. Jackson wants the jacket back, they said. But Michael's manager stopped them. No, he wants Robert to keep it, and give him this. He handed Robert an envelope. Robert opened it in the parking lot. A letter and a check. The letter said, Robert, music saved my life too. Now let it save yours. This is not charity. This is one musician helping another. Use it to teach again. Pass it on. MJ. The check was for $25,000. Robert almost collapsed. £25,000. He could get a room, get clean, get training, get back to teaching. Is this real? Robert asked the manager. Very real, the manager said. And one more thing. Michael wants you to know. He saw you because he was you once, a kid who needed someone to believe in him. Now he believes in you. Robert couldn't stop crying. 6 months later, Robert was living in a small flat in Manchester, clean, sober, healthy. He used the money to get certified again, started teaching music at a community center. His first student was a 9-year-old girl named Maya. Shy, barely spoke. I can't play, Maya whispered on the first day. Yes, you can, Robert said. I'll teach you. He showed her middle C on the piano. Her small finger pressed the key, one note. Maya looked up at Robert, smiled. Robert's eyes filled with tears. This was why, this exact moment, free lessons, for kids who couldn't afford them. Why free, parents would ask. Because someone gave me a second chance, Robert would say. Now I'm passing it on. Every lesson, Robert wore the gold jacket. This was given to me by someone who saw me when I was invisible, he'd tell the kids. Now I see you. The kids would touch the jacket, run their fingers over the sequins. Did you really meet Michael Jackson? They'd ask. He saved my life, Robert would say simply. Years passed. 1989, 1990, 1995, 2000. Robert taught over 300 students. Many went on to music school. Some became professional musicians. Where did you get that jacket? They'd ask. From a man who stopped the world to help one person, Robert would say. 2009, June 25th. Robert was teaching a class when his phone buzzed. A student showed him the news. Michael Jackson dead at 50. Robert canceled class, went home, sat on his floor. The gold jacket was hanging in his closet. Robert took it down, held it, and wept. That night, he posted on Facebook a photo, the jacket, and a story. In 1988, Michael Jackson stopped his concert for me. I was homeless, broken, ready to give up. He pulled me on stage, whispered 8 words in my ear, gave me his jacket, and changed my life. Those 8 words were, "You matter. Don't stop. Teach them music." I've taught 300 kids since then. All because one man stopped singing to see one person. Rest in peace, Michael. I'm still teaching. The post went viral. 50,000 shares in 12 hours. Then something incredible happened. Comments started flooding in. Michael Jackson paid for my sister's wheelchair. $8,000. Anonymous donor. We found out later it was him. He funded my school's music program. $15,000. Never wanted credit. He bought my grandmother's house when she was being evicted. $40,000. Anonymous. Journalists investigated, and the truth came out. Michael Jackson had helped 214 documented individuals. Over 20 years, all anonymous, through managers and lawyers. He had one rule, his estate lawyer said in an interview. Help them. Don't tell anyone. Let them pass it on. BBC did a documentary. The Man Behind the Mirror. Robert was interviewed. What did it feel like? The interviewer asked. When he stopped the concert for you? Robert's voice cracked. It felt like being seen. For the first time in years. He didn't see a homeless man. He saw a music teacher. He saw who I could be again. And the 8 words? You matter. Don't stop. Teach them music. That's what he whispered. And I haven't stopped since. 2 years later, the Michael Jackson estate announced a new foundation. See the Person Foundation, for those the world overlooks. Robert Miller was appointed director. On opening day, Robert gave a speech. The gold jacket was in a glass case behind him. 23 years ago, Robert said, a man stopped his concert for me. 70,000 people watching, and he chose to see one broken person, not to embarrass me, not for publicity, to save me. Robert paused. He taught me that greatness isn't measured by how many people see you. It's measured by how many people you choose to see. Michael Jackson saw me, and now we see others. Today, the See the Person Foundation has helped over 1,800 individuals. Housing, job training, addiction recovery, music education, and in every office there's a photo, Michael Jackson on stage. kneeling down, putting a gold jacket on a man in a torn gray coat. The caption says, "He stopped the music to see one person. Pass it on." If this story moved you, please subscribe and hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to know that being seen can change everything. Have you ever stopped for someone else? Tell us in the comments and turn on notifications for more incredible true stories.